Just kind of going live just a little bit early so that I can get set up. So, how are you? Hi, Sam. How are you? Just getting kind of set up here. So, bear with me one quick moment. Sounds like somebody's playing drums outside my office window. And it's not somebody playing drums, it's the chickens. They look for just the smallest amount of food. They're just doom, 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 doom. Sam, you sprouted some green beans today? That's really cool. What kind of green beans do you sprout? I'm really curious about that. Okay, so what breed of chickens do I have? I have just a bunch of barnyard mixes. I have some blue, oh, what are they called? I got them from Tractor Supply last year. They are a sapphire gem or something like that. So I have some of those, but most of them at this point are just barnyard mixes. I love them. I love them. I even have some meat birds running around that are close to 2 years old. Hey, Mikey, how are you tonight? Hey, Gordon, happy Thursday to you too. I'm so glad you guys could make it in. Oh, I love Blue Lake. I love Blue Lake. I haven't grown it in a long time because I'm growing the long beans pretty exclusively. But yeah, I love Blue Lake. And I grew up eating Kentucky Wonder. So, or no, Kentucky Blue. I'm not familiar with Kentucky Blue beans. All right. It is Thursday. It is Friday Eve. What do y'all have going on this weekend? Us, nothing. Saturday, we're working on Saturday, but right now we're letting the property dry out. We've had a week of rain. It has rained every single day, and finally, today, our gun range flooded. So that's fun. That's a lot of fun. So we are back on my cell phone. I'm streaming from my cell phone. I don't know if you remember last week I tried to stream from my home internet, which is on a business plan with HughesNet, so it's satellite. And so Friday they actually came and replaced my modem, and they said that that would take care of the issues. And we're having issues again. So I don't get to use that really cool program that I found, and I'm kind of bummed about that. So they had to reset something remotely today, and I think at this point they're gonna have to come out. I think that my satellite. Did you hear it? The smoke detectors. Never fails. I think that something needs to be changed on the satellite dish itself because this is a bit crazy. I'm on a business plan and I have tons and tons and tons of data. And it's been like this since February. I've been fighting with HughesNet since February to get them to come fix this and fix the issues. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so it's a Kentucky Wonder hybrid. Okay. Okay. Are you growing them to can them? Yeah, I think it's just raining everywhere, Sam. I think it's raining everywhere. It's just I guess one last rain hurrah before the dry summer starts. But I grew up eating Kentucky Wonder, and I know that Blue Lake and Kentucky Wonder are both really, really great canning beans. Are you growing the bush type or the pole? Oh yeah, canning and freezing. Yeah, good job, good job. Having canned, your own canned foods. Let me show you. This is just a little bit of them. Having your own canned foods is super important these days. I have not bought canned goods. Um, that's my son's room. Hold on a second. Okay, that's better. I have not bought store-bought canned goods in about 5 years. So, um, yeah, it's I like having the canned goods. Mikey, I meant to tell you this on Facebook. I have eaten all of the pickles that you sent over. They were absolutely fabulous. What kind of peppers were in the pickles? I took the first bite and it wasn't that hot, so I took the next bite and that one got me. That one got me. So they were the your quick pickles. Very, very nice. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, so I have something that I want to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about. Something that happened to me on Tuesday. Tuesday, we had a lot of rain and humidity was like 99% on Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, Duke got out and he got out and got into the neighbor's pasture. He didn't want to come home. He found a little girl dog that was in heat or is in heat, and he decided he wanted to hang out and play with her. So at about 7:30 in the morning, I am walking a half mile, little maybe a little over half mile into their field with the leash to get Crazy Duke. And I march him out of the field. Now, at this point, I've got him leashed up. He is now throwing the biggest temper tantrum. He is flopping and flipping and whining, and I'm wrestling him. I'm covered in mud at this point because it had been raining. Their field, it just smells terrible, kind of like sewage. I mean, that's just the best way to describe it. So I walk him out half a mile with him throwing a fit. I walk him down our half-mile driveway up to the house. I am absolutely exhausted. I come in and I cool down. And I think that I'm cooled down. I had some water, but earlier that day I had iced coffee to start my day off. And so I go back out to the garden because I was in the garden when I discovered he wasn't with me anymore. And I go back out to the garden and I start working. And about 9:30, so about an hour and a half, closer to 2 hours, I start getting really lightheaded, really, really lightheaded. And I thought, uh-oh, I better get into the house. And I was sweaty, but all of a sudden now I had started to kind of stop sweating at this point. I'm real lightheaded. My garden is probably 35 yards from my back door. So I come in and I immediately wash off, trying to cool myself down. And then I laid down on my bedroom floor trying to cool down. Um, I told you guys all of that to tell you that I got overheated Tuesday. And it really, to me, it wasn't that hot outside. I guess just the humidity got me. So I'm telling you guys to really watch out for heat exhaustion. It is a real and true thing. All day Tuesday, I was sick, and part of the day on Wednesday, I was feeling better, but it was not, I just wasn't with it, you know? And so when you guys are working outside and don't work yourselves to the point where you're starting to feel bad. Take breaks often, even though it's not that hot. Especially down here, we have a lot of humidity. Like I said, the humidity was 99%. And I think at this point in the day, it was only just a little over 80 degrees. It was not that hot outside. But so yeah, you guys drink plenty of water, drink plenty of Gatorade. My favorite, as far as electrolytes is concerned, is coconut water. Coconut water with no added sugar is it's better than Gatorade. It's got natural electrolytes. The coconut water itself has natural antiviral and natural antibiotic properties to it. It's a much better substitute for the Gatorade. So, you know, keep a bunch of that on hand. And if you're feeling not so good, nausea, I was sick to my stomach. I got a massive headache. I like I said, I was still sweating, but was starting to, I could see where it was might have been crossing the line a little bit. Just take care of yourselves. Even if you think, oh, it's cloudy, it's not that hot, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Do not overdo it. I should know better. I should know better. I should know better not to overdo it. But you know, it just somehow snuck up on me, I guess. The only thing I can think of, it was the iced coffee. I think that the iced, because coffee naturally dehydrates you. So, I think that I might have started out the day a little dehydrated and it just got worse. So keep electrolytes in your system and lots of water and take breaks often. So that is the one thing that I really wanted to talk to y'all about. Just don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. All right. So I'm going to check the let's see here. Mikey, those were gong bao peppers. I'll have to look them up. It was good. It was good. Oh yeah, Sam, he was looking for love. Yes, he was looking for love. He had his first vet appointment to get him caught up on his shots, and he has his surgery appointment on July the 15th. That was the soonest we can get it done. I was looking for something a little closer like that day, but they could not get it done any sooner than July the 15th. And as a matter of fact, when we were in the vet's office waiting, we had an emergency come in. An older dog got really really sick, and so we had to stand back and wait while they attended to the other dog, who ended up going home instead of staying in the at the vet's clinic. So let's see. Now, Sam, I don't believe it was heat stroke. I I I know with heat stroke, it's when you absolutely stop sweating. Heat exhaustion is when you know you're getting to that point where you can have like heat stroke. So it was not heat stroke. It was definitely just heat exhaustion. And for me, it lasted, all that day. And then the next day, I was still feeling kind of off. I felt fine, but I was just feeling off. So Wednesday, I just took it easy. I listened to my body, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll just take it easy today. I'm not gonna go to the garden, which was very surprising to my entire family. They were like, oh, you're not going to the garden this morning? And Tuesday night, my husband's like, oh, so you're going back out to the garden this evening? And I said, no, no. And he was like, whoa, you really don't feel good, do you? Let's see. All right. Let's see. I don't know. Ooh, scorpion. Mikey, the peppers were not too hot for me to eat, but it definitely had a bite, and it was a really good flavor, and I didn't mind it. So I do have ghost peppers in my garden. I bought one ghost pepper plant. This poor little plant was at Lowe's, and it was all by itself, and with no other ghost peppers around. So I had to rescue it and bring it home. So yeah, I have a ghost pepper in the garden, and I showed Gordon on Sunday when he came by. Let's see. Do you have an opinion on raw seed versus pelleted seeds? Um, Not really. I've used both, and I guess it with the pelleted seeds. I think that I had it's been a while, but I think I had less germination with the pelleted seeds than I have with just the regular kind of raw seed. I've tried both, and like onions. I've bought onions that way, and I have yet to get any onions to germinate with the pelletized seeds. So I really do I prefer my heirlooms. I prefer my heirloom seeds rather than hybrid seeds. Um, but as I think that I just have a lower germination rate with the pelleted seeds. The raw seeds, I seem to have a pretty good germination rate, even with like Dollar General seeds. And they're like two for $1. I think I have like a 70% germination rate even with those, and that's actually pretty good. So I tell people all the time, if that's what you can afford, then absolutely get it. Let's see. Yeah, oh, Mikey, I know you have to be careful. And like I said, it didn't feel hot. It did not feel hot. I think it was the coffee dehydrated me, and it had to be that 99% humidity. This area would be perfect for me if we didn't have such high humidity. Yeah, see, you've yet to see them sprout. Yeah, I believe that. I've bought onions a couple of times, and I want to say that I've bought some basil seeds like that, and just something I can't remember. It's been a while, but I remember thinking, "Oh, I'm not going to buy those anymore." Either I didn't. I had a hard time. I know the onions. I did not get any of them to sprout. None. But I think the basil, I think it was a very, very, very low germination rate. So I wasn't that thrilled with them. And, as far as seeds go, Mary Heirloom Seeds I actually got an email today. Mary's Heirloom Seeds, she's having her dollar sale. So go check her out. Her seeds are really great. This last year was my first time trying her seeds, and I had like a 90% germination rate, so I'm totally happy with that. And she was very fast on getting the shipping out. So yeah, I got that email earlier today that they're having their dollar sale through the end of the month. And I saw some things on there that would go really good for a fall garden, that other people in other parts of the country can grow now, but we can't. So yeah, go check her out. M.I. Gardner is another really great seed company, and he has 99-cent seeds all day long. So, and with him, I have almost 100% germination rate. So, their seeds are very low cost. And then, of course, Baker Creek, I have about 100% germination rate, but their seeds are a little bit more expensive, but they carry things that other people don't, and that those really hard to find seeds from all different parts of the world. So that's why I do like them. I do like them, and they've actually sponsored a giveaway here before. Let's see. So let's see what else. So we had the fiasco with Duke, and then he had his appointment yesterday at the vet's office, and he was so sweet. My husband had to carry him all through the vet's office, all 52 pounds of him. we had to carry him like a baby because he didn't want to go anywhere. He was so scared and he was shaking. And so yesterday I ordered him a harness. My husband ordered him a collar, but the collar was too big, so I went online and ordered him a harness. And we put it on him, and then we had to take it off to adjust the harness, adjust the size, and he wanted it back on, so he kept putting his big head back in there, wanting his harness back. He's got it on right now. It's gonna be funny when we go to bed and he has to take his harness off. I don't know what he's gonna do, but he's so cute. He's really, really cute. Hi, Deborah. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm just over here jibber jabbering away. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, especially those of you that are in the South like me, I hear a lot of people talking about, we have a spring grow season here and we have a fall grow season. And a lot of people don't do any type of summer gardening. They spring and fall and they don't do anything in the summer. And I think that that is a lot of missed opportunities because there are things, and I hear it all the time. Oh, that won't grow in the summer. The only thing you're going to get to grow in the summer in Southeast Texas is okra and sweet potatoes, and everything else is done. And that's not necessarily true. You guys know that I am an advocate for mulch. Mulch, mulch, mulch. You keep that mulch down, you keep it nice and thick, and you're gonna see a difference in your garden, and you're gonna see that you can garden all year long. Even those tomato plants that for other people they stop producing, for you, they're gonna keep producing with that thick, heavy mulch. If you're not familiar with the Ruth Stout method, go ahead on YouTube and look her up. You're going to see a couple of my videos, but look up who she was. She passed away in 1980. She was the queen of deep mulch. This is way before the Back to Eden method came along. She toured all over and talked to people just like we're doing right now about mulch. And so keep your gardens mulched. But there are things that you can actually grow. And at the end of last week's video, I just kind of really quickly touched on it. But lemon squash. Lemon squash is one of my absolute favorites to grow. It's a small round squash, and this is the perfect size to harvest them. They'll get a lot bigger, but this is the perfect size you want to harvest them. The skin is still really tender on the outside, so you don't have to peel them, and the seeds on the inside are really, really small, so you don't have to scoop them out. They're about this size. I guess that's a baseball size. So that's the size they are to harvest them. They are a vining squash, and they will crawl all over the ground for you. I like to train them up. One, I don't like snakes, so I don't like any surprises. Two, when you train them up, you can grow them really, really close, and you can get a ton of squash. Out of a 10-foot row, you can probably easily plant 20 plants if you train them all up. And they will produce and produce and produce and produce. They produce more squash than zucchini, if you can believe that. I know you're sitting there thinking, wow, zucchini, I get tons and tons of zucchini, but they are more prolific than zucchini. They don't mind the heat at all. I've got them in my garden right now, and there's no mulch around them right now because remember, I had a hard time getting mulch. There's no mulch around them, and the heat of the day, they're perfectly fine. They are standing up to the heat. The other thing about the lemon squash is that they're the squash vine borer, they're vine borer resistant. I don't know why, but the vine borers just really do kind of stay away from them. So they're really, really good, especially if you have a history of having your zucchini and your squash plants being destroyed by the squash vine borers. I would highly, strongly suggest trying lemon squash. Desi squash is another squash, and I did a video on that last year that really holds up to the heat. Desi squash is from India. Now, lemon squash is very sweet tasting. It's a very sweet squash. Desi squash is not sweet. It's more nutty. It's got a nutty flavor. So it's a totally different flavor. It's another round squash. And again, you want to harvest right about baseball size, so about this size. Um, and they're just a different flavor profile, but they're really, really good. The thing with the Desi squash is at the end of my squash season, they did succumb to the squash vine borers, but it was at the end of the season when I had already gotten tons and tons and tons of squash. So I didn't have an issue with bugs in the beginning of the season. Like sometimes with zucchini and yellow squash, you'll have issues right at the beginning of the season, right as they start to produce. With the desi squash, it was at the end of the season, and again with the lemon squash, I have never had a problem with them, and they're actually known to be vine borer resistant. Let's see. The new thing that I've got in my garden this year is I know I'm going to butcher this, the cut cutsy cutsy squash. It's not actually a squash. It is a it's a now it's like a loofah. Somebody help me out here. Okay, it's a gourd. It's a gourd. It's not a squash, it's a gourd. So you eat it young, because they're like a serpentine. They grow very, very long. They're super popular in Italy. They grow very, very long, and when you harvest them young, you do have to peel them because their skin is tough, even on young ones. But young ones, they're sweet like a zucchini, and they're firm like a zucchini. If you let them get in any, like I pick them, they're about this big. But if you let them get a little bit girthier, they get spongy, kind of like an eggplant. So just the texture changes a little bit. So those are the three squash. Oh, and the cutsy, or kakutsa, as I've seen it called on the internet before. Again, not an issue with the heat, not an issue with the heat at all. In the heat of the day, they're standing very strong. The other thing, and I was teasing my kids about this, their leaves are very fuzzy soft. So I told my kids, I said, hey, if we run out of toilet paper, I'm growing it out in the garden. So I've only got 6 of those plants, but I'm getting ready to, as soon as the garden dries out a little bit more, we're going to plant some more of the cutsy or kakutsa squash. It's called a squash, but it's really a gourd. So let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so I'm looking at the comments, and I see brought some green onions, used them and saved the roots, planted them, and they have already that's yes, green onions and onions, and celery are really great to grow from grocery store scraps. And you want to hear something funny? The other day I had saw a patch of grass in the garden, and it was just this odd place to have this grass. And so I decided I'm going to take the lawnmower and just take care of that patch of grass and throw some hay on top of it. When I got about halfway through the patch of grass, I started smelling onions. I was like, what is this onion smell? What is this? I ran my onions over, my green onions that I started from seed, regular raw seed. I just ran them completely over. So yeah, but they're now starting to regrow again. So I just kind of put some hay around them and letting them regrow. But of all the things that you can do, I ran my onions over. I would like to say that was my first time running something over in my garden, but it's not. It's definitely not. Let's see. Thank you for the hay suggestion, because yes, I love hay. I love using hay in the garden, and I tell everybody to use hay, and I have a lot of people that are naysayers about the hay because it'll sprout grass. And I actually have a video coming out this Monday. I actually filmed part of it last week, but I lost footage and it's been raining all week, so I haven't been able to go out and film. So it's coming out this next Monday, and we're going to talk about hay again. We're going to talk about it, but I'm glad you tried it. I'm glad you tried the hay. All right. Oh yes, romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce grows really, really well from scraps. So, um, let's see. So at any time while I am jibber jabbering, if you have any questions or anything, just put them down below, and I will take a breath and go through your questions here. Um, Okay, so the other thing that you guys know that I've been growing a lot of things on my front porch. And the one thing that I have noticed that I'm having a really hard time with in the partial shade that my porch is, herbs. I've had a really hard time growing herbs on my front porch. They don't like the shade at all. Basil, oregano, um, cilantro. Let's see what else is out there. I've got some cilantro and parsley, but those are cool weather, so I don't know if it's the shade of the porch or the fact that it's the wrong time of year for it. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to move all of that stuff out into full sun because it's not liking it. It's not liking it at all. Um, Basil, I've never had a problem growing basil. I can get that stuff to grow out of my ears, but in the partial shade, it's not doing it. It does not like it. And remember the video that I did on the cilantro alternative? I planted the cilantro. I got some of it to grow, and it grew teeny tiny, and it has not gotten any bigger. And then I also planted the popolo, and the popolo, I had to move it into full sun, and it is growing like a weed. And we will have a update video on the popolo this week. And I've actually already tried the popolo, and I like it. It's got an interesting flavor, and we'll talk about that. So I'm really excited about it. Let's see. Do rabbits like basil? Rabbits like everything. So probably. Um, is rabbits when they come through, they'll mow it all down. So is it being eaten completely down with nothing, or just a little nibble here and a little nibble there? Does your mint like partial shade? Yes, it does. I have a sweet mint plant growing in full sun. And the rest of my mint, I've got chocolate mint, spearmint, and peppermint. And those are all growing right at the edge of my porch, and where they get partial shade, partial sun. My sweet mint, it's looking bad. It's looking really, it's struggling. The rest of it is thriving, is absolutely thriving. So even with all of the rain that we've had, that sweet mint plant is really it's doing bad. So I plan on repotting that up in another pot and moving it onto the porch and seeing if that helps. But yeah, they're not a fan of full sun, I have found. They like it partially shady. They will go crazy. Yes. Once you get it planted, Mikey, um, partial shade, partial, and I can take pictures, or you can come over here, of my porch, and you can actually see that where the mint is, it's right. So here's the roof line, and the mint is right here under. It's just right here. So it gets partial shade, partial sun. It's just kind of blocked. So yeah, that I would definitely put it in the shade. It's just too hot for it here. It's too hot for a lot of things here in the summertime. Yeah, see, mint does best with 4 hours of sun. I believe that. I believe that that is definitely what I have seen. And I was watching my favorite Thai food blogger, and I heard of another basil. I heard of another basil that I've never tried before. Tree basil. Has anybody tried tree basil? Have you planted it? Have you eaten it? Has anybody heard of tree basil before? And I'm saying it tree, like a tree, basil. So let me know. Let me know if you guys have tried it. Yeah, Sam, basically my mint is just right. It's right under my roof line. So, and it when it rains, the water from the rain doesn't even get on it. So, yeah, Mikey, tree basil. So I was watching this food blogger and he was describing this dish and he looked over at his wife and he said, "Is this tree basil?" And she said, "Yes." And I was like, "Wait, what? What did you just call that?" So I looked it up today and I actually found a seed company here in the United States that has the tree basil seeds, but I'm unfamiliar with them. So I want to do a little bit more research on them before I order from them. But supposedly the base of the plant gets really, really woody and it also grows super, super tall. Which is why people call it tree basil. So I have no idea what it tastes like. But when it comes to basil, you can't just have one. You have to have lots and lots of them, right? So yeah, that looks like we're gonna have to get some tree basil for sure. If they can grow tree basil in Thailand, we can grow tree basil here. Anything they can grow in Thailand, we can grow it here for sure. So, you guys tell me, are you steadily planting in your gardens or are you switching gears and starting to think towards that fall garden? Let me know. I wanna see what you guys are growing. I am steadily planting more plants. I just planted some more Gilberti, actually the rest of my Gilberti tomato seeds, and hopefully we've got the ducks ran out of the garden enough that they'll leave my Gilberti tomatoes alone and let me harvest some of them rather than eating them all. And but I just planted those, and I also planted more long beans. And like I said, when the garden dries up, I will plant some more squashes. I also pulled out my zucchini. I had a couple of different varieties of zucchini over by the tomatoes, and I went ahead and pulled those out the other day. And I think I can get in and replant. They're in an area that's not too swampy. When it's really, really wet, the seeds kind of tend to rot in the ground. So I don't want it super, super wet when I put the seeds in the ground. So I'm kind of waiting for things to dry out a little bit, even though everything is elevated. It has just been soaking wet here. It's been insane, insane. Starts peas soon indoors. Um, what kind of peas are you starting, Sam? Um, Here in Texas, we can grow field peas, but I don't. I don't grow them. Um, but I am gonna try this fall again to grow sugar snap peas. They don't like our summers here. They don't like anything past 70 degrees. So I have yet to have a successful pea season. So I would love to have some peas. Let me refresh my screen real quick. See, this crazy internet is doing it again. Sugar snap peas. That's one of my favorites to eat in salads for sure. For sure, for sure. I'm not a fan of peas per se if they're canned. I love peas raw. I'm weird, I know, right? But I'm not a fan of peas that are in the can. My family is. My family likes split pea soup. I'm not a fan of it, but I can eat them fresh out of the garden all day long, and I'm a happy girl. So, hang on 1 second. Hey, can somebody bring me a water? Logan, can you bring me water? Yes, please. Oh, that would be great. Sorry. Normally, I would just text them, but with the internet being messed up at home, I'm having to use my phone. So I can't text them. Otherwise, it would look like this. So that is pretty much that's kind of the notes that I had. Next week we're gonna start talking about how much you should be growing to eat fresh and to can away. And so keep that in mind. That's what we're gonna start talking about that. As far as your gardens go, especially here in the South, when you pull one thing up, you should be putting something back in its place. Don't let that garden split space go to waste. Mulch your, here he comes. Thank you. You want to say hi? My football player, see. That's better. So I want to talk about how much we should be growing. And I know that if you, Duke, you want to come say hi? Come say hi to my friends. Come on. Come on, come say hi. Come on. We're going to get Dookie real quick. Come on. Oh, say hi. Say hi. Ooh. Oh, he's slipping. Let's see. You see him? Aw. Okay, I messed y'all up. Okay, I'm probably crooked to some of y'all. He is so cute. He's so sweet. He's got his little harness on, and Brad put on the it came with service dog service dog patches. But we're gonna take those off. I actually have some new patches ordered because he is far from a service dog. Brad said he says, "Oh, we should just leave service dog on him. We could take him into restaurants with us." But that wouldn't be fair, and people would know really quick that he's not a service dog because we'd literally be having to carry him in. He does not like new places. So and he doesn't like our floors. He still has yet to get used to the floors, even though they've been down for some time. He's he slips and slides. He's hilarious. He's hilarious. Texas Janet, hi, welcome. Naturally NC, welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Oh yes, Sam. You know he's chasing the female girls, but that's out in the field. They're if they were in the house, I guess he would have a hard time doing it. So, but yeah, he loves this new jacket, and I have another collar for him. He's getting his new outfits going. So, oh no, Janet, your dog got stung by a yellow jacket. Oh no, did he have a really bad allergic reaction to it, or poor baby? Now, I don't, y'all remember Roscoe, the one that I lost back in November? 2 years ago, he got bit by a snake, and a young snake. And so, it was a Sunday after church. I, I called our vet on his cell phone because we go to church together, And I apologize. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I don't know what to do. So I gave him. He told me to give him some Benadryl. Told me the doses to give him, and Roscoe was fine. He was fine, but he was totally knocked out from the Benadryl. So, but yeah, bummer. Pathways Homestead, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Oh no, his little mouth. Was he chasing the yellow jacket? Because they don't learn, even though they get stung by them, they don't learn. I had a German Shepherd that he would chase them and snap at them and got stung all the time. Always had a swollen mouth, and he was fine. I never had to do anything with him, but he never learned his lesson. I'm gonna steal my water. He's now here with me. Oh yeah, he chases bugs. Yeah. Yeah, and I had another German Shepherd, a female, that she chased firecrackers. Um, she would grab them every chance she got. And you would think, oh, these dogs must have died young deaths. No, no, Chancellor was 13 and she was 11. So they both died old dogs, but in it really surprising. But yeah, Heidi was really bad about chasing anything that went boom or anything like that. And Chancellor, he chased wasp wasp all the time. And probably, so there is kind of a backstory. I was out in my backyard gardening when we lived in the suburbs, and there on our house was kind of like ivies. But it wasn't. I don't even remember what it was, but it was some kind of vine, and I wanted it off the house because it didn't look good. And so when I went and pulled it down with the rake, and it was coming off really easily, I disturbed a black. They were black wasps, some sort of black wasp. And when I did, I had two or three of them come after me. And actually, there is a spot on my arm right here. You see that right there, where one of them got into my shirt, and it was just steadily stinging me, and that's my whole arm swelled up like the size of my leg. But okay, now here's the funny part of the story. So I had a little kiddie pool in the backyard for the dogs, and I took my shirt off and I dove into the kiddie pool. And I'm sure it was quite a sight for the neighbors because, like I said, we lived in the suburbs. All of the houses were really, really close, but it was the only thing I can think of to get the wasp off of me. But yeah, it was steadily attacking me. It was relentless, kind of like a yellow jacket is. I disturbed their nest, but when I finally came up and out of the water, it was 2 inches deep. I saw Chancellor had my shirt, and he was stepping on it and he was biting it, and then the wasp came out and he snapped it out of the air. So yeah, I don't know. Sam, mud daubers. I don't think so. Mud daubers are not aggressive. And this was years ago. This was actually years ago. Well, it was before kids, so at least 19 years ago. So yeah, and I would like to say that that's not the first time that I've had a scare with a bug and my shirt came off because I thought the bug was on me. There is a banana spider story that I don't know if I'm ready to share, but yeah, so that's not the first time my shirt has come off and I've trying to get away from a bug. And it's probably not going to be the last time either, if I'm really truthful with you guys. What's going on? Are you talking about my, can you not hear me, Deborah? Are you, can y'all hear me? Or am I just talking to thin air? Hello. was there? Oh, okay. So hopefully Deborah can come back in. But yeah, okay. I was wondering if I was just talking to myself. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time. Actually, when I'm talking to the kids, a lot of times I am just talking to myself when I'm talking to the kids. But not my puppy. Not my puppy. He's in here. He's back in here with me. My service dog. So anyway, yeah. So um me and bugs. Me and bugs. I guess, maybe why are you not talking? I think Deborah's internet might be messing up. Okay, so next week I will tell you guys on next week I'll tell you guys about the banana spider versus Crystal. So if you remind me, yeah, I'm sure Mikey and Gordon will remind me because it is a funny story. It is a funny story of Crystal versus the banana spider. So I'll share that with you guys since I told you about the mud dot or the black wasp story this week. South of Liberty. What town? What town, Cindy? What town do you have? Yeah, I think Deborah might have maybe muted her sound or something, or I don't know. But maybe if she goes back through the comments, she'll see that you guys could hear me, and it wasn't that I just stopped talking. Hmm. You gotta love technology. The fact that we can talk like this and have all of us from all different parts of the world can kind of come together and chit chat for an hour. I think that's really, really cool. I really think that's really cool. They have a Liberty. Okay, so they are in Liberty. They're in the town of Liberty. The town of Liberty is just it's just the next town over. It's actually where the Walmart is. So I go there quite often. If you want to private message me their names, I might even know them. Maybe, maybe. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. So I'm going to skip back through the comments really fast and see if anybody had any questions or anything. And I'm going to steal some water. I normally have my water here and I can kind of, but luckily Logan heard me screaming for water and he helped me out tonight. All right, so we are at 54 minutes. I have yacked for 54 minutes tonight. Let's see, we covered overheating. Take care of yourselves, y'all. I can't stress that enough. And we talked about different veggies to grow in the heat. And, like I've said all along, you can grow any vegetables you want. You just need to put mulch down. Mulch, 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 mulch. And like 8 inches of mulch. Seriously, a lot of mulch. But yeah, you'll have a garden all summer long. Oh, wow. So, Cindy, you guys, so you're from this area. Where do you live now? Kids are really great too, but they'll tell you that I threaten them. Oh, I think Deborah, I accidentally rewound the live video. Um, I don't know if you hear me, but Deborah, if you slide that little red line all the way to the right side, that'll catch you up to the live here, to the live. Okay, so we talked about some, my basil not growing in partial shade, but my mint plants love the shade. So we talked about that. Does anybody have any questions or anything? And I see, hi Anna, how are you today? Thank you for joining us. And we talked about Duke a little bit and how he is not a service dog, that is for sure. But he's doing really great about keeping the ducks out of my garden. He's doing really great. If I can keep him away from the ladies, and July 15th, we won't have to worry about that anymore. My ginger, Anna, that's a really good question. My ginger, we should probably bring Duke back in because Duke knocked over the pot and ate my ginger. Puppies. Puppies. Perennial vegetables. I perennial vegetables. I have kept peppers around for at least 3 years. So, oh, this is fun. So my power went out. I'm going to go ahead and end the live here and figure out what happened. And we will see you guys next week. And I will talk about perennial plants that are supposed to be annuals that we can grow for a couple of years. So we'll talk about that as well. And I see a flashlight coming. All right, guys, my power went out. This is real life here. Are you coming to give me light? All right, I'm signing off. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.